Welcome back to another episode of World That Terrific, a podcast about anything and everything horror. I'm Tom Cruise,
And I am Mr. S.
and I've been excited to talk about this movie, Evil Dead Rise.
Yes, Evil
Yes.
Dead Rise.
It's been a long time coming, at least since we saw the trailer. Just to start there, I said it from the moment I saw it. The trailer looked awesome, and now we finally got the time to watch the movie. I'm excited you finally got to watch it.
Yes.
There's a lot of things to unpack here. Is it a sequel? Is it in the same universe? How many books are there? A couple different questions. With that being said, let's jump right into it. You want me to read the synopsis or you?
Yeah, just before you do, so we're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back here. Or if you don't, again, that's up to you. Yes, go ahead, read the synopsis here, and we'll get to talking.
All right. Give me 1 second as it loads. A twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a prime battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. So that's the first synopsis. There's another one, but I think I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. Yes, I like it. I like the synopsis. Doesn't give too much. Kind of just an overview of what the film kind of is about. I do want to point out that Evil Dead Rise is, has been released since April 21st. April 20th is an early release, if I'm not mistaken, and it's already generated almost $45 million globally, which is great numbers for them. I think a lot of people are happy about that. I included am, one of those people. I think it's going to make a lot more. It is a well-known franchise, especially since its 1981 debut. I think a lot of people are interested to see the gore / Easter eggs, because there's a lot of Easter eggs in this one, I think, and just the performance of these characters. I think this cast does a great job of, kind of not reviving, but continuing the franchise, I want to say. And yeah, I want to go ahead and just, jump right into it. Should you go first or did I go first?
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to touch up on something that you mentioned, right? You mentioned how much money is already made. Here's a reminder, guys. This movie, if you've seen the movie, you could kind of tell, was supposed to be going straight to HBO Max.
Yes. Yep.
That's crazy. To think that they went from almost going to HBO Max to making $42 million. Oh, it has as of now $42 million. By the way, as of now.
As of 42 or 45? I have 45 here.
Oh, okay. You might have a newer article than me.
Yeah, 44.5. I estimated to 45 million. Regardless, you make a great point. Yeah, so I was going to go directly to HBO Max. So think about all the money that they won. And this is just opening weekend. It's not even, a month in or whatever the case is. And I can't help but think of Halloween, the Halloween franchise. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, right? In terms of the whole Peacock scenario. Mm-hmm. I do wonder if they could have made a lot more money. But I guess it's a different time. That was last year. Or it hasn't even been a year.
It's 100% a different time. It would be very difficult to say that Halloween Kills would have made the same amount of money, to be honest.
I mean, you never know. I guess
the thing is, you also have to remember that we're going based off how much the Halloween 2018 made, and that made a whole bunch of money. So
amazing, yeah.
So it was never going to live up to that expectation, and I think that's why they ended up going.
We can only speculate at this point, but still, it does make you wonder, right?
So 100%. 1,000%.
But yeah, you were mentioning how much money it made. You said that it was direct to HBO Max. I think that's insane. Which, by the way, Max, it's going to be Max soon. I think May 3rd or something like that.
Just Max.
Awesome.
They're dropping to HBO, which is another surprise for me. I wanted to go ahead and just put this next to the background. I love this fucking smile.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead. So I'm gonna let you start off first. Tell me, because I know I think in this franchise you're probably a little bit more happy. I mean, I guess more invested in it than I am. I want to say, not that I'm not. I'm definitely
yes and no.
You know?
I've been a fan mostly since the 2013 movie, so I have seen the original Evil Dead along with Evil Dead 2, but I kind of stopped there. I know there's a couple more or I think there's at least one more. There's Army of Darkness. I've never actually seen Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are hardcore Evil Dead fans, I apologize. I'll go watch it. I'll go back and rewatch it for sure though.
Right,
Bruce Campbell kind of started this franchise. However, I got really into it when it was an era of remakes. We got introduced to Evil Dead 2013. And if you recall, all the fucking remakes at that time were pretty bad. You got you got A Nightmare on Elm Street. You got Halloween, not the greatest movie, or Halloween 2, Rob Zombies, not the greatest.
Terrible.
And Evil Dead for me at the time was a standout movie when it came to remakes.
Should we include that in terms of a remake?
It was like kind of. It was a reboot.
We should. We'll do that. Yeah, a reboot. Because
it was a reboot. It was a reboot.
Yeah,
you're 100% right. It wasn't necessarily a remake. It was a reboot.
Yeah.
However, I love that movie. I really enjoyed watching that movie, and I went back and saw it before I saw this one. With that being said, I thought for me, standout performance is gonna go to I don't want to butcher her name. Ellie Alyssa Sutherland, who plays the mother on this, the demon. I forgot what they're called in the world
Deadites,
of Evil Dead.
I think.
Yes, Deadites. Who played the Deadite in this? Who you see right here. She did such a good job. And if you have the opportunity, if you've already seen the movie, you see the behind the scenes. She's just amazing in this. Mm-hmm. I like to describe her as having kind of 3 phases in this movie. And you go from the phase of just her being a mother to the kind of transition phase where she kind of dies and comes back till she's full on Deadeye. And I just want to say she did an amazing job on this. I hope that when they attribute the success of this movie, they go back and say casting her, like, kudos, bro. That was fucking great.
I wanna just add to that and say that she recently tweeted something. Actually, she put herself. She's in the cover of a magazine, and then she also posted like her in this film, like all demonic and whatnot. And she's like, guess what? Guess which one I had more fun doing, right? I think that's what she said.
Fucking love it.
I'm a fan of that. I think people who are invested in the project that they're in, especially a 100%. Franchise like Evil Dead,
you can tell.
Makes it you could definitely tell she had and like I agree with you wholeheartedly, like that she did a great job in all of the characters that she played, the mother role, the sister role, and the demonic, the Deadite. Yes. I think she did a great job in that. Right. And yeah, I like that. I think this movie, you mentioned the trailer. For me, I don't think the trailer gave out much. I think some people online are saying that. I don't know how they're saying that, to be quite honest with you. And for me, it was interesting to see because obviously these Evil Dead films do have a lot of like Deadites. Like what we're gonna continue to call them Deadites, like in the film, and like they're all like rising and like working together, all that stuff. The trailer, the way it kind of made it seem is like they were just trapped in this apartment, and that's what we got in the film as well. But so like there's a lot more to the trailer than I thought, at least. So I thought that was pretty cool.
100%. I agree. I think for me it's a little bit difficult though, because I don't know if I dissected the trailer as much. I was so hooked on the teaser. I saw the trailer once. Yeah, I was so hooked on the teaser that I think I maybe just saw the first trailer and then I never saw it again because I knew I was gonna watch this movie. Like the teaser was enough for me to say I'm hooked. When the little girl was like, "You don't look so well, mommy," which by the way, she did a good job. I thought that little girl did great. I really liked the dialoog of the strip. I want to say
like that. The dialogue too. I think she did a great job as well. For some reason I thought she was the girl in Megan, but she wasn't. She had she looked familiar to me, but it wasn't.
Oh no, the same little girl or the girl who was Megan.
The same little girl. No.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, she wasn't.
Yeah, no, but I thought the little girl did a great line. She had a couple different liners on this. At the end when she's like, "Am I dead?" I was dying.
That was funny. That was
great. I thought the dialogue was good on this. Just to mention that, but yeah, I think I agree with the trailer, but I can't really say much because I didn't watch it that much to say oh, it spoiled too much. I was hooked from the start. With that being said, the intro sequence of this movie was another great intro sequence.
Yes.
So from you start this movie, they're kind of at a cabin, or they are in a cabin, and they're by a lake. You get sort of that Crystal Lake vibe, sort of feel.
You do get that Crystal Lake vibe, and you also get a what you call those shots, a demon shot, like of
Yes,
like
I
even
love
the
that because
original
they do a
Evil
little
Dead.
fake out. They give you a little
Yeah,
fake
and
out when you think it's a
yeah.
demon, but it's a drone. I
And
love
it's a
it. It's a
callback to
perfect
the
way to start.
original, like
Yeah,
literally
it's
how
a
the movie
callback.
starts in the original, and that's
Yeah.
how that is. I thought that was
Not only
I
to
think
how it
that was a
starts,
great.
but pretty much every Evil Dead has that same sort of what do you call it? Shot.
Shot,
Where it's-
yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels when it comes. That's one thing that you have to kind of. I guess I was talking about this with somebody else, and I mentioned that when you're watching Evil Dead movies, there's certain things that you already know are going to happen. Like you know there's going to be a book, you know somebody's going to read it and do something, and that's where the frustration is. Like you're like, come on, are you really going to do this sort of thing?
Right.
But I mean, I've heard you mention this phrase a couple times now. Suspense of disbelief. It's
Yes.
almost like I already know this is going to happen, so I can't really complain about it because that's kind of what these movies are, right? That's
right,
what
right.
in every Evil Dead, somebody's stupid enough to read the book. In this case, they played a vinyl.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I still appreciate some of the things that we have seen in other movies, and they did a very good job.
I think this movie, by the way, directed by Lee Cronin, who is I think great, written and directed by Lee Cronin, who is a director from Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. He's won an award for Ghost Train. If anyone has seen that, that's what he won an award for. I think this movie had some challenges where they had to kind of resurrect the whole demonic entities, right? And I think they did a good job with the earthquake. Something so, like, I guess simple.
Yep.
I do have some questions about the movie, like that I had actually while watching the film that were answered later on. But there's still some that I do have, and I was going to ask you. Maybe you can help me out with that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But the challenges of kind of bringing this movie to life, to like bringing the story to a point where the climax is now, the mother and obviously the whole, the vinyl and all that stuff. I think they did a good job. I think the hole or the pit, whatever you want to call it, underground is a great way for the story to come to life. And I think
100%.
it was well written.
Yeah. It really makes you hate
Danny.
Danny,
played by Morgan something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really makes you hate Danny. Yeah, I mean it's that sort of thing. Like I mentioned, you know what it's coming in an Evil Dead movie. You know somebody's gonna read or play or something, and it happens. And the way she gets possessed, very parallel to a lot of other movies. You could even compare it to the Evil Dead 2013. The way the cables grab her in the elevator. Very similar idea to the vines grabbing her in 2013, and
yes.
how it's done in the original movie as well. So there's that, and I don't know. Just going back to that character, but like from the moment she comes out of that bathtub, she just wreaks havoc on everyone, and
yes.
I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I the moment she comes out of that bathtub is where I think I was confused though. At one point, I was confused with the sister Beth and like the kids. Like, did you not know what was going on? Like, I feel like she was in the bath. I mean, prior to that, she looked like she was dead, right? And then she's like obviously getting back up, and like the voicemails and everything that was going on. It's like you don't realize that she's like been taken by some weird supernatural entity. Besides Danny, because Danny obviously knew what was going on, but like how do you not realize until that scene? I thought that was a little like okay.
Yeah. So that's why I call it like the transitioning phase, where like she wasn't like full on Deadeye yet until after the bathtub. But when she dies and she's in the bed, she still looks like a Deadeye 100%. But
True.
What I mean is she wasn't trying to kill them or talking yet. The Deadeye.
I think the scream is kind of what initiated the complete, I guess, takeover.
That's what I mean.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Because I do think that early on when you hear her voice, I do really think that's her talking when she's saying it's in me or help me. Yeah, it's in me. Don't let them get them or something. Whatever. I think that really is her. Now, what you think about the whole subplot with her having a baby, the kids, and
I think it was a interesting story. I think it plays to the movie really well. I think the whole complete story in terms of Beth kind of overcoming her fear of actually having a baby, then realizing that obviously she can take care of it, because the whole Cassie incident at the end, and like trying to get her out, escaping, like even to the point where Cassie was kind of dragged back into the parking garage, and like she went back for her and tried to save her. I think it definitely adds to the story in a, you know, character that, you know, and this triumphant, you know, victory for her. So I think that's great. I also think it's great for her to come back there. I mean, it looks like there was a disconnect between her and Ellie. Like, you know, Ellie had her husband who left her,
Yes.
and Beth obviously was a guitar technician on tour, not answering her calls, and now she's back. So it's like, I like it. It works really well. I think it was written, you know,
Yeah.
very, very, very well in terms of that.
The only,
aspect.
I mean, I don't know if you want to go to the questions, but one of the questions that I had that I just want to bring up is like, she goes to visit her, and I get it. The building's getting destroyed, so I guess there's not much tenants, but the building is empty. Like, is there one floor of tenants? They're on the 13th floor or something like that, right? What floor?
Dude, that's my question. That's exactly one of my questions. I'm not even trying to be funny. Not only that, they don't call the cops. Like, they're trying to figure out a way to get down the fire escape to try to get Ellie's body there, whatever. Fine, I get the whole, because like at the end scene where we realize that why it was a day earlier, which I thought that was a great tie. We realized that, you know, I didn't know what's her name, the girl in the beginning who was like, or Jessica. She's like, oh, we finally got some service, like, you know, whatever, cool. But you mean to tell me nobody could have called the cops? Nobody could have called the cops. Not only that. There
always has to be something that's preventing them from.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's why I'm not trying to bash it too much. But also, there's also a confusion in its aspect. Like, if Jessica goes to the parking garage the next day, we're assuming, right? We're assuming that Beth and Cassie have escaped. You know, they're not there anymore. Whatever. Where is the, you know, investigation? Like, where are the cops? Like, where are the, like, you know, paramedics? Where are the people for the building? You know, it was an earthquake. You know, I guess they're trying to use the earthquake as a diversion. I have no idea, but I thought that was like
they almost treated it. I guess the idea is maybe they just live in a very bad neighborhood and it's just an abandoned.
Yeah, it is LA.
Nobody cares about.
Yeah,
and it's in LA. Yeah, it's in LA. So like, they just don't care about the building.
I mean, we're talking about gunshots. We're talking about earthquake. Yeah. It's insane. So it's like, okay.
And they mentioned that she's like, I think in one scene somebody mentions like, I don't want to shoot because I don't want to wake somebody up or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. I
think that plays more towards the limitation of the scale of the movie. Because one thing that I noticed, and at least in comparison to the 2013 movie, I really enjoyed this movie, but I thought it's obvious that it was meant to go to HBO Max. I thought, not because it was bad or anything like that. I mean, because it was a relatively smaller scale. I don't know. Maybe the budget. I don't know. It's just certain things I can tell by watching it. I as somebody who's seen a lot of movies, can tell, like, this wasn't like meant to be in theaters. I can tell. I just have an eye for it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to point
I resonate with what you're saying.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is that we can point at? Because I'm trying to figure out what is it that I can say.
I don't think the movie goes to extreme levels to be, I think, in theaters like that. I think that's why they wanted to go to HBO Max first. I want to say that. I do think that if this didn't have the name or tied to the franchise, it probably would have been straight to HBO Max.
100%. I think
so.
The title did help it.
I 100% understand what you're saying, and in terms of the eye and understanding, like you've seen a lot of movies, so you can kind of compare and see what belongs where in terms of a platform or in theaters. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm not, and I am in no way saying that the movie is bad or anything like that.
No.
What I am saying is, I can just tell that maybe the scope of this movie, was smaller. It almost feels like it didn't have as much of a budget as
true
as Evil Dead 2013. And yeah. I wonder if Evil Dead 2013 had a bigger budget. I really do.
You know what's crazy about that? Because I agree with you. I think, like you say, a smaller scale, and I think of, yes, like just the apartment. Like, this whole thing takes place in a building, right? We don't see any other scenes out of here. But I also want to say that even though it was a smaller scale, I think they committed to the scenes. If that makes sense. Like, they committed to every scene possible. And I mean, like, the pit and Danny finding the book, or what do you call it again?
Whatever that thing is. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. There's completely. So apparently there's 3 books. We can get into a little bit of the lore, but apparently there's 3 books, and that's where the kind of connection comes between all the movies, where, you can kind of say that, okay, the first movies that we see, Evil Dead 2, whatever, that's all the same book. That's all one, and then the book in Evil Dead 2 is the second book, and then this could technically be the third. So they could technically all coexist in either the same universe or however that they decide. So.
Yeah. So I think like they commit to that scene in terms of like what's in the pit, you know, the books, the vinyls, Jesus Christ, and everything else, and then even like the takeover of the demons, right? I think the way that elevator scene is sick. I think that elevator scene is sick. I also think like when Bridget, by the way, who was played by Gabrielle Eccles, I don't know, but I thought I was watching Selena Gomez. That's just me. I think her transformation too was sick. I think like every scene that they did, they went to great detail, and like even like the ending with like the wood chipper and the like blood rain like on the car and whatnot. I was like, there's certain things that they did. I'm just like, oh, they didn't have to do that, but they did it. So I was like, okay, cool. They definitely like have an interest in this. So that's always good to see as a viewer.
No, 100%. Yeah. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought for a second.
What do you think about? Did you predict these deaths that did happen in the film?
No, I did not think the kids were all gonna die. 100%.
I did not think that either.
Yeah,
I think that surprised me completely.
I thought the other members of the other, what do you call them? The other tenants were definitely gonna die. I did not think. I wasn't too sure about the kids, but it made sense to me because you need other people in the movie so that they can die. So I thought for sure the tenants were gonna die. I did not think two of the kids would die. Spoiler alert! I mean, if you're watching this, you made it this far.
Yeah, that's why I try to put a disclaimer beforehand. But yeah, I didn't think they were gonna die either, which is why I tie it back to the trailer, where I didn't think that the trailer did give out a lot, right? Because I thought it was only gonna surround Ellie. I didn't think it was gonna be anything beyond that in that aspect. But I mean, here we are. So.
No, yeah, 100%. I don't think they even showed much of the other kids in the trailers. They only focused on the little girl,
right,
the sister,
right.
and the deadite, pretty much. What do you think about the gore in this movie? Right, between Bridget eating glass and
I think this movie handled the gore. I think the gore was handled really well. I don't know how to explain it. Like it wasn't gory nonstop. But the moments that it was gory,
the hair,
that hair scene. You know what I tied that to right away? To Saw. I told you that's one of the deaths that were in my top, list because of the way it was like, ripped from her scalp. So like the fact that this movie,
I'm trying to remember which one that was.
Saw 4. That's Saw 4.
But yeah, bro, insane. I don't even know how she was alive, man.
I don't know how she was alive coming all the way at the lake.
I would have passed out. I would have fucking passed out.
Sick intro. Sick title intro.
With the levitation? 100%.
Yeah, that was insane. But
so
that was
standout gore. We got the hair. We got Bridget eating glass.
We have also the swallowing of the glass. I thought that was
the swallowing glass. Yes, where you see it actually puncture her throat.
We also have the what you call it, the eye being swallowed.
Oh yes, the tenant, and then the cheese grinder. Is that what it is?
With the skin. Yeah, that's insane. That was insane, bro. I felt that one. It's you can feel that. If you ever do it with cheese on your own and you kind of hit your hand a little bit, your finger.
Fun fact: the entire cast did a bit where they did a YouTube video on like how to properly use a cheese grinder.
No way. I
promise you, I'll share the video after this.
That's crazy. Yeah. Also, like the spike through Bridget's mouth throughout her head. I thought that was crazy. Obviously, the killings of. I thought this movie had a lot of good shots in the beginning to kind of foreshadow and prep you for the spots in the apartment as well as outside. I think that shot where they're looking through the peephole. And she's kind of running back and forth with the tenants, killing them like one by one.
Yeah,
that was.
Oh no, that shot is amazing. That's a shot from the teaser.
Directed.
Yeah, that's a shot from the teaser. That is probably the best shot of the.
Oh, was it? I don't remember the teaser. I think I only saw the trailer, so I didn't.
The teaser. Recall. The little girl looks through the peephole, says, "Mommy, you don't look too well," and she sees
that.
Her.
Yes. But the whole scene, I didn't think it was gonna be a scene. I thought that was just gonna be like a 2-second thing.
Yeah, I did not think it was gonna be that long, but that was awesome. And yeah, I agree with you. That might have been the best shot. And I was just like. Drooling at the mouth anytime they were looking through that peephole and she was doing some crazy shit. That fucking scene was
amazing, absolutely amazing, beautifully directed. For gore, like I said, I don't think there's.
Mommy's with the maggots now.
That's a reference to something. I think that was a reference to Ash burning the book in the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, by the way, Easter egg here. The voice of the priest played in the vinyl is actually Bruce himself.
Not surprised.
If
He
you
makes
don't
a
know
cameo
that,
in every movie.
you have to. You have to make a cameo in every movie. If
He
you
makes
have
a
done
cameo
so far,
in every single movie.
yeah, exactly. So I thought that was pretty cool.
We have the infamous chainsaw, of course, because we can't
Of
have
course,
an Evil Dead movie without a chainsaw. There always has to be a chainsaw.
Where who had it last time in Evil Dead at the
At the
Abomination?
end,
Yeah,
Mia at the end. Where she,
The
and she
thing is, I gotta
loses,
see Evil
she loses
Dead.
her hand like Ash.
She loses her hand like Ash. The thing is, I have to see it again because I think I've seen it like twice. I haven't seen it more than that.
I had
So-
seen it a couple times, but I did see it before I saw this.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah.
it. I have to touch up on that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else over here. Like, there's a lot of things this movie does well. You know, the takeover. I think the story, the book, the way they tie it, and like as a viewer, you're understanding, I guess, what's going on. The purpose, however, I don't know if I understand it. Like, as a
Like
priest,
the dead.
yeah. Like
So what the priest was doing was kind of, what was it? He was trying to, he wanted to discover the power of the book. Now the Deadeye's purpose is what we don't really understand. Like
Exactly.
what do they gain from this, right?
Yeah, what do they gain from this? But even also, like for the priest too, it's
They
like,
just do it to torment, pretty much.
yeah, like
They're there to torment.
why would you want to, have these demonic, entities enter your world as a priest? It makes no sense to me.
But I don't think he knew that there was going to be a demonic entity. I think
I mean,
it was more so.
I'm only
the
saying that because
power of the book.
I heard people in the back like, it's like burn that book and all that stuff. It's just
Yeah,
like,
they were warning him.
they were
100%.
warning him, and he just chose to not.
Which, by the way,
listen.
I don't think so. There's been other vinyls and stuff in other movies, but I mean, that could always play that back, and like that could be another movie.
What I'm telling you, there's gonna be at least 2 more movies after this.
100%. Now, I know at one point they wanted to combine these movies, so they wanted to establish some sort of connection. So I'm wondering if they ever do that. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense to, only because they've been doing so good standalone. And once you start getting Ash involved, it becomes more action than horror.
Yeah,
Because he's just gonna start shooting people and shit. So
yeah, exactly.
it-
I don't
it's
know.
interesting.
I that's the thing that I don't know. I don't know which direction they are headed to, but it's clear that there was no closure to this. So like you never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that. I think the cast was great, man. I gotta compliment the cast. I gotta give them their dues, their respect, because I think they were all great. And up to the little girl, Beth, I thought was a huge character. I didn't think she was going to be. I don't know why. I was under the impression that in this movie there was going to be some type of, how do I say this, like good ending. Like I was expecting them to
ending,
figure out, like, yeah, when she went inside, like she's like, I thought it was also kind of cool how like she was a guitar technician. And she came back to fix the vinyl so she can hear it. I thought when she went back and heard the vinyl, I thought, okay, they're gonna discern this and decipher it too at the same time.
Yeah, she was gonna come up with a solution. But
Yeah,
the solution
but-
was like, there's no solution.
There's no solution, like, which is cool. You know me, I like when things are not predictable. I don't like I like things where
It
we
was
don't
just more
really,
so like you're doomed. I did like the fucking Deadeye, just like figuring out like, oh, the cat is in the vent. I can go through the vent.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. But I think the fact that the kids died too, I didn't expect that to happen. The fact that there was no answer, to fix this whole demonic bullshit, there was no answer to that too. I thought that was pretty cool. So you never know. I just, it works. It works. It was, you said, a smaller scale. There are things that they did that were really well. I did like that elevator scene. I think that's a callback to what movie? The Shining. I think that's a callback to The Shining.
100%.
And
With all the blood and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
So
pouring out of the elevator. 100%.
Yeah.
I think Stephen King himself referenced it. He tweeted about this movie.
Oh, did he really? I
Yes, he
didn't know
did.
that.
He did,
Okay,
he did.
wild. Okay.
He said something like, "There's even an elevator full of blood." Yeah, he mentioned it.
There you go. There you go. By the way, I think The Shining is really overrated, both the book and the movie. I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
That gem. Yes, you have dropped it. You have.
Yeah,
you just had to drop that gem right now.
Yeah. So that's
Do
that.
we want to get into ratings? I want to
Yeah,
go first because I feel like
I was gonna say you go first because I don't want to. I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? Hold on.
this is
Hold
a
on.
tough one for me. This is a tough one for me because I really like this movie.
Wait. Don't say anything. Yeah, I'm gonna open this. And I'm gonna write my rating just to make sure that because I don't want people thinking that why can't I draw on here? I don't want people thinking that I am. You and I are having this conversation beforehand. Like, oh, you guys are having the same ratings. I promise you, I don't know his rating. He doesn't know my rating, and I'm gonna prove it to you.
But I feel like that what happens to me is that like you get to read your rating after I read mine, and then I'm like, fuck.
But that's what I'm saying. Let me write my rating. Okay, ready? Wait. Okay, go ahead. What's your rating?
All right. So I really enjoyed the performances. I really enjoyed the gore. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead franchise. I thought the teaser was one of the best things. The dialogue was great. My only gripes were, some questions that were left unanswered, and I guess the sort of suspense of disbelief when it comes to certain things, like you mentioned, the apartment. How you always expect them to read a book and everything, but take that all into consideration. This is a great Evil Dead movie. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay,
And that is
I like it. Good rating. Okay, so I think it is one of the better Evil Dead movies as well. Especially because the beginning movies are good, but like if you watch the 1981 again, it's like you realize it's so cheesy and it's so like,
it's
the
hard.
acting is off, whatever. But gore was great, acting was great, story tied. It was really well written.
I forgot to mention the intro sequence is also fucking great.
Intro sequence was fire in terms of how like she was creepy and reading the book as like I feel like we've seen that before anyway. A lot of it was great. I don't really have too many gripes with this movie. Just some like suspense of disbelief stuff. But other than that, I'm gonna give it. You cannot see this at all, can you?
He gave it 7, 8.
7.8, and that's because I tried desperately. That's because I tried desperately to be different. Because I don't want to have the same one as you. But
so
if
you
I can,
gave it an 8.
I'm giving it an 8. I'm giving it an 8. I think
you gave it an 8. I enjoyed the Evil Dead franchise a little bit more. Now, with that being said, you don't remember Evil Dead, and I hate to compare movies, especially after it just came out. But do you recall which one you enjoyed more? Between this one, of course, Evil Dead Rise 2023 and Evil Dead 2013.
This one.
This one,
I
really?
think only because, like I said, I've seen that one before, and it's like they have a lot of similarities, especially the ending, the blood rain, the chainsaws, all that stuff. But I don't know. I feel like this one, something about it was very simple, but at the same time,
I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah, the other one was more extreme, I would say.
Yeah, it was a little bit more extreme. I actually think that the Evil Dead 2013 might have had better gore. And I say that because you get some of the same things. You get Mia burning herself. You get the girl, instead of eating the glass, she peels off her face with the glass. You get the girl with the saw that cuts off her arm that's like boiling.
Yeah.
You get Mia cutting her tongue open and kissing the other girl. You get her puking on the girl.
Yeah.
You get the gun with the nails. I do think the gore was probably better in that movie. Not to say Jane Levy, who played Mia, did a bad job as a Deadeye, but you can't really beat this performance as the Deadeye. I am sorry. This might have been the best Deadeye we've seen in any fucking Evil Dead.
I hate that I agree with you so much. I'm trying
but
to find
I saw the Evil Dead remake. I'm sorry, I saw Evil Dead 2013.
Yeah.
And I went and rewatched it, and I was like, I don't like this movie as much as when I first saw it. When I first saw Evil Dead 2019, I would have almost sworn by it. I would have said this was like a 10 out of 10. Maybe like a 9 out of 10. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was like very little things that I didn't like about that movie. But watching it now, I don't know if I've seen it a couple times, but I think I rate them very similarly. I don't know. I think they're both really good. I think I probably like the subplot of the 2013 one more than I like the subplot of this particular movie. Mother versus the heroin addict, I believe is what she was. She was like the plot is they go to a cabin because she's trying to give up drugs, and then the plot twist is that she gets infected with a deadeye or whatever. I do feel like that movie felt like it had a bigger scale. I also feel like that movie also had great trailers, so I like them both. So I only wanted to compare them for the sake of saying they're both fucking really good.
Right.
Which explains why you mentioned it. We're gonna get a lot more of these movies.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I do think that I want to go back and just have another look at it. Because again, I've seen it, I do remember it, but there's certain things that you forget. It's not, you know, for me. I agree with you that there's no better Deadeye than her. Shout out to her and for the actress who plays Beth. They're both Australian, great. They did a great job. Just to justify your reasoning, you mentioned that this movie is a little bit of the smaller scale, which I feel like doesn't really help its case, right? You know, this is no Cabin, this is no Abomination, there's nothing involved like that. So, given what they had, I think they delivered. So
100%.
And it was still a good movie. It was still a good movie.
100%. Still a great movie. I would say this movie was great.
Yes.
I think I only take away a couple points because of the questions, because of the setting, a little bit because of the setting. Even though there are certain things that I did like about the setting, but I also, one of the things that I did not, maybe I should have expected this because it's an Evil Dead movie, but at the same time, what did I watch before this? We didn't speak about this, but I saw The Pope's Exorcist, and I'll quickly touch on that. When I saw that movie, my opinion was Russell Crowe did a great job. Wasn't really a scary movie.
Is it worth watching?
I don't know. It wasn't really a scary movie. It wasn't really a scary movie.
Yeah,
the way
so
I think of it.
I don't like
it's
religious aspects. If it's not even like scary like that, I feel like.
But then when I'm watching this, when I saw Evil Dead Rise, for me, something in my brain, I forgot for a second what Evil Dead was, and I expected it to be scarier, if that makes sense. I don't know if I would call the movie scary. It was a gory movie. There was definitely horror, but I think Evil Dead 2013 might have been scarier.
Okay, I take it.
Like,
I like it.
Almost with the idea of, like, in this one, she, you know, the Deadeye's there, we know where she is, and it's like we kind of know, the movie picks up and you know what's going on. Versus Evil Dead 2013, Mia's up and about. You don't really know what's happening. You don't know what's going on. Like, it's a little bit more. I feel like that movie was scary. I also think the color scheme and the tones of the movie are completely different. One of them is meant to be like a darker movie as well.
Yes.
And that's the 2013. So, again, either way, I enjoyed them both. They're really good movies. I just wanted to quickly mention that. That's one of the other small cons that I have with the movie. But with that being said, I still highly recommend, if you have the chance, definitely watch Evil Dead Rise. I believe it's actually coming to digital in like a week or two.
Nice.
I believe early May. Nice. So
listen, they made it 45 million so far. I'm gonna if someone offered me 45 million, I'll take it. No problem. Trust me.
No, 100%. And I mean, if I had to guess, I don't know if it had the same budget of Evil Dead 2013, but I think the budget of that was like 20 million or something like that. Okay. So I think they've already made their budget and some. So that's great. Nice. That's great. If you have the chance, definitely go watch it in the theater. If not, 2 weeks later, you can watch it at home. So highly recommend.
I like it. Picasso. So that was Evil Dead Rise. Go ahead, watch it. We recommend it. We're gonna move on here. We're gonna talk about. There's something I want to talk about that we mentioned on last week's episode. We talked about Insidious, the Red Door, the new film that's coming out in July. A trailer was released. Right after we talked about it, and yes. I wanted to hear your input. I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
I did get a chance to see it, but I almost forgot that we didn't talk about the trailer because it came out literally maybe the same day or if not the day after we spoke.
It was the day after. Completely.
So I definitely did see the trailer, but I forgot that we haven't spoke about it on here. So yes, I did see the trailer, and us talking about it immediately. I already it was like, oh, this all makes sense. He's in college, the kid, and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we thought it was going to be. I'm happy that the cast is back. I'm happy it's the same kid and everything, and they're not recasting.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's enough for me to say, like, too much on it. I still want to go back and rewatch all the Insidious movies before this one comes out. But yeah, I'm still very, 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 very excited, and I definitely did like the trailer. And I did like that he's, like, having nightmares and stuff. So
Exactly. I think you touched on it, and I agree with you. I think what makes this movie great is the fact that it's kind of the same, right? It's kind of the same in terms of the first movie, what we grew to love because we were so afraid of it, right? Ty Simpkins is returning, like you said. They're not recasting him. He looks great. I think and as an actor, he looks pretty, good too.
Yeah, it's always a thing with child actors where they tend to be recasted because over time maybe they're not the same and stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm
right.
happy that they kept everybody. They kept literally mom, dad, son. They're
Yeah.
all the same.
Yeah, they kept everybody. I think they brought back the story too. Like the fact that it's centered around him, I think is great. I also think the fact that Patrick Wilson is going to be there.
Patrick
You know-
Wilson,
you know,
Rose Byrne,
Rose Byrne's going to be there.
and then
I also like
the creepy old lady.
Elise. I forgot what her
Elise.
real name is, but she's
Lin
there.
Shaye.
Yeah, she's gonna be there. I do like the fact that the song even is like tiptoe, that song.
Yeah.
It's back. I think also the demon with the red. I forgot the demon's name. Shice. But
I know what you're
he's-
talking about. The one with the red face.
with the red face. He's like in the trailer, and it doesn't look too complicated. It looks like the original formula from this franchise is kind of coming back and to kind of close out their story, and I am 100% for it. So I'm happy to see it, and I'm wishing it does well. So
Yeah,
let's
I'm
see what
definitely gonna
happens
watch it. I want to watch them all. So this movie is coming out July 7th. We'll probably touch up on the other movies before that. Yeah, think so?
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. I'm so down.
Just because I need to rewatch them before we watch that one. So yeah, either way, I'm excited. Definitely gonna give it a watch. And yeah, not too long from now, a couple
Yeah,
movies coming
not
out.
too long, man. It's gonna go, and that's another thing too that we were talking about last week, and we realized it's coming so fast. It's insane. So
Yeah, and we just got
I like
a trailer.
yeah,
One thing that I did want to talk about, that I don't know if everybody noticed, but Scream is out today on digital. Scream
Yes.
6. I know we spoke about this movie enough. We ranted about this a little bit off screen because we saw another fucking list that had a whole bunch of movies above Scream this year. I don't understand.
I
You
don't understand people
We don't
who make these
understand.
lists. I don't support critics. I don't
Wait.
agree with
They
their
had
decisions.
what was it that they had above it? They had fucking the movie that we just saw. They had Infinity Pool above Scream 6.
Scream. Yeah,
think-
like
yeah,
how is
I-
Infinity Pool above Scream? Like, what are you talking about?
There's clearly a missed concept that we forgot. It's an artistic choice or the symbolism.
No, there's
of-
nothing to
of-
it. It doesn't
Infinity
make
Pool.
sense. A
Okay,
viewer
I-
that watches it, would
I don't
not
know. I don't want.
agree.
I don't want to shit on the movie either. But with that being
I'm
said,
not shitting on the movie, but I'm also saying that it's not true. There's no way that that's true. Like, we're talking about a franchise, a iconic franchise, to a movie that's like could very easily be one of the wackest indie films we've ever seen. I mean, it could easily be. I'm saying that I'm not that it's not, but in comparison to Scream, it's ridiculous. It's not even.
I think
close.
there's a bit of fatigue with the Scream franchise, considering there were 2 back to back and stuff like that, and it's a franchise, so people immediately take away. points
Look at the
because of
numbers. Look at
I
the
know.
numbers. Look at the money. How much money they've made.
that. I know, but I think because it's the Scream franchise, people immediately just want to shit on it. Like at this point,
Yeah,
they're just like,
What are you
it's
talking
Scream,
about?
whatever.
People love it. It's
I
whatever.
know, but I'm saying
Shout
that
out Infinity Pool. I
it
don't
has
want
that much love, but it also has that much hate.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
They released a whole bunch of stills, a lot of behind the scenes of a lot of people having fun. You
Yeah.
get to see some of the stunt actors who play Ghostface, like
Yeah.
some of the goofs and scenes that were
Their
cut.
TikTok page is amazing. You guys should follow their TikTok page. They release a lot of these videos that look behind the scenes stuff, and it's just so what you call it very humbling. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the guy that plays Ghostface, he's very nice. He's like, he's there to do a job, but at the end of the day, he's super nice and friendly, and it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of things up in there. I mean, I don't want to get too much into speculation of Scream 7, but apparently, there potentially might be a director already. Might be the guy from Happy Death Day, maybe or maybe not.
Scream 7 is happening 1,000%. I can bet everything on it. I want the same. I want Radio Silence on this. I want them completing this whole second trilogy, whatever. So,
But is it a trilogy if it started with 5?
yes, 5, 6, 7. That's a trilogy. I'm saying a second
1, 2,
part
3,
of the
4,
trilogy.
5, 6.
1, 2, 3, but 3 ended in 2000. 4 was like in the middle, 10
Middle,
years
yeah.
later, and then another 10 years after that, like this comes
Okay,
out. So
okay,
yes,
fine,
it's like a
fine,
second
fine,
part of a trilogy.
Okay.
But yeah,
I don't know. I think I prefer it if they didn't treat it like a trilogy and they treated it like
no, because this is obviously we're getting off topic here, but if this movie does come out, I don't want it treated like a trilogy either. I want it to be treated like a franchise, the way they're mentioning it, like a 7-film franchise. So yes, that's how it should be.
Yeah, there's some rumors there. I did see Melissa mentioned something about like she would love to be the killer, but people would predict
bro.
that.
I don't
so
want
they
that.
wouldn't make her that. Did you see that she said that?
I saw that. I saw.
She
the
said she
tweet.
would love to be the killer, but people would predict that. So like so many people have predicted it that they wouldn't make it.
We understand that she's the daughter of Billy Loomis. We've seen the Scream 5 the way she killed Richie, and we also saw Scream 6 in the way she killed Bailey and all that. But I don't want to see her as Ghostface. I don't know why people like to see that. She did her part. Cool. I think that's cool. I think
people want something shocking. And
at
this point, it's hard to shock us.
I mean, true.
That's
but
the part. That's the hard part. Like at this point, the only way to shock us, I know we're ranting here about Ghostface really fast, but I think the only way to shock us now is there's like two methods, right? There's A, bring back a character from one of the other movies,
right.
Or B, it's one of the main casts. That's the only way to shock.
I think that would definitely be shocking. And the only way that I would see Melissa Barrera being Ghostface in the next film is if like she like kind of gets Sydney out of hiding and battles with her. It's like like the battle of the final girls. Like I'm the final girl, blah blah blah. But we're gonna know how that ends because
we'll see. I think Sydney. I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get too into it. We'll whenever we get more.
This is all speculation.
7,
this is complete.
100%.
Based off of
Whenever we get actual info, we'll talk about Scream 7. For now, that's pretty much it on the subject of Scream. The only other very last thing I wanted to mention, and only because I seem to be the only person excited in the world about this particular franchise. They've been talking about it. It's gonna come back. They're gonna make another one. Now we got a fucking director. John Watts is directing Final Destination 6.
I like this franchise.
Yeah, but it seems like not too many people were excited. Maybe because they made so many of them, and the fourth one was like. Really
I think it scares people that these things can happen in real life. I think that's what that is. So, like, I feel like so many people tell me, "Oh no, I would never do LASIK." Have you seen Final Destination? I'm like, "Yo."
Oh yeah, that's
I've done LASIK myself, and I have seen Final Destination. Yes.
And then there's always like, they would never drive behind
I think I've seen a meme. I've seen a guy driving behind a truck with those whole tree logs and all that stuff, and they're like, "I've seen this before." It's like, yeah, get out of there, buddy. But yeah, no, I didn't know that they did that. That's cool. I'm interested to see another Final.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. John Watts is producing and writing the treatment.
Okay.
Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein are directing. Sorry, I didn't want to misspeak.
No, you're fine. You're good.
John Watts is fucking Spider-Man, so that would be huge if he was directing it. No. Let me quickly look this up. This is Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein. Either way, the fact that we have anybody with a name, with a big name, he directed Freaks from 2018.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Adam B. Stein. Quickly search here. Oh, also Freaks. They worked on Freaks together. Either way, I'm excited. Final Destination is coming back. I want to see what they do now. I want to see what the action is going to be, and let's see what happens. Like I don't know. I that's one of those movies that I will never not be there day one in the movie theater because it's an experience. Those movies are experiences.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to add here. So,
all right, guys.
Should I sign us off?
Yeah.
First and foremost, thank you everyone who has been listening to this episode, whether it's on the podcast, any podcast platform that you're listening to, or whether it's on YouTube. We immensely appreciate you being here. Look at my voice. You hear my voice? Hello, testing. Oh my god. Okay. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Well That's Horrific, and on Twitter at That's Horrific. Whoa. Edit that out? Nah, I'm not gonna edit that out. I like to be uncut, raw. Here we go.
Let's close this out.
Instagram, TikTok at Well That's Horrific, and Twitter at That's Horrific. Because if you don't,
well,
have a great one, everyone. Peace.